In this video, I'm going to go over the Gaston Session. The Gaston is one of the least technical techniques that we're going to go over in this program, and by that I mean it's very strength dependent. With that being said, there's still a few things that you can do to alleviate some of the strength dependent nature of it, and more importantly, during this practice, you're going to get stronger at it, which is probably the thing that's going to help you the most. With that being said, it is a very strength dependent exercise, so we're going to do a bit of an activation slash strengthening warm-up. You're going to take a band, fold it in half, and take it like a Gaston, and then pull for 8 reps in a varying range of motion. On the other side. And you're going to do 2 to 3 sets of that before you do the Gaston Session. So one of the things that's going to make the Gaston a bit less strength dependent is to visualize these lines of tension that can run along your back and along the front of your body, going through your foot, into your shoulder, and into your hand. Visualizing these lines of tension will help you take more weight off of your hands and your shoulders and put more weight into your feet. In addition to visualizing lines of tension, it's important to pay attention to where your center of gravity is. You want to find a position that's going to allow you to get the most out of both holds, a position that is somewhere in between where you're coming from and where you're going. Obviously, that's very situationally dependent, and it's going to take a lot of practice to figure out that consistently, but that's what we're doing here. We're doing consistent practice. But yes, just keep in mind that you want to find a position that allows you to get the most out of both holds. To practice the Gaston, we're going to do a 2-part drill. Part 1 is isolated practice, and part 2 is integrated practice. So for part 1, we're going to be doing some just isolated Gastons. There's a few things I want you to play with. That's Gaston into Gaston, Gaston into side pull, Gaston into down pull, vice versa. You mean like, down pull into Gaston, side pull into Gaston, yada yada. Sound like a broken record. Just play with them. There's a lot of different options you can do with the Gaston. Don't get bored. In addition, play with crossing over your body. That's a really interesting bit of body positioning. So I'm just going to show you what a little bit of the isolated practice would look like. And then we're going to move on to part 2. So I'm going to start this Gaston. I've got a bad foot. Okay. So I noticed that my left foot came away from the wall, and that caused a bit of a swing. I'm gonna see if I can pull a bit harder on this left hold, so I can push a bit more into that. That actually made it harder. Yeah. I mean, and that's why we do this, because you just figure out, that works. That doesn't work. I'm gonna try it one more time, and then I'm gonna move on to another side. You don't need to repeat the same move over and over again. This is something I found interesting, so I'm gonna delve into it a little bit. If the move you're doing seems uninteresting, pick a new one. Alright, so I just rested about a minute between moves, and I'm just going to do a bit on the left side, working with the Gaston. Ooh, that's going to be hard. Ooh. Okay. What really helped me there is to pull a lot through my right foot and to push on my left foot. Fundamentally, this is just an exploratory session. You're really just playing with a Gaston. You're doing Gaston moves in whatever way feels cool to you. For part 2, we're going to be doing some more integrated practice. We're going to build a boulder or find a boulder with a lot of Gastons. I prefer to build a boulder because finding one is so difficult. I've been struggling to find one on the moon board. But yeah, I just made this boulder. It's pretty hard, and there's some moves that kind of have a forced Gaston. And yeah, I'm gonna really try and utilize as much of my body as possible when getting into the moves. Jesus Christ! Alright, just rested a few more minutes. Man. So I bit off way more than I could chew with that last boulder. Way too hard. This one's a bit easier, and I'm going to be able to focus a bit more on actually doing Gastons and a bit less on actually doing the boulder. Oh my god. Dude, the moon board is crazy. So, I'm getting shut down right now. And I'm gonna stop. And that's what you should do if you're getting shut down. If you're getting shut down by a technique session, you should stop. This is supposed to be like fun and useful. And if you feel like you're getting shut out right now, like I am, then you should probably stop and rest. And that might not be the greatest thing to put in this video, but I think it's real, and I think it's a useful lesson, maybe more than seeing me successfully do a couple boulders. Hidden lesson in the Gaston video. Don't push it. So I know this video was a bit haphazard, so I just want to recap really quick the main points I wanted to communicate. The Gaston is a very strength-dependent exercise, and in doing this drill, you are going to become more efficient and become stronger at that movement over time. To make it a bit more efficient, you can try your best to create opposition through creating lines of tension and pushing through your feet. Part 1 of the Gaston session is isolated practice. That's a few moves in a Gaston on each side, playing with different grip positions and orientations. Part 2 is integrated practice. Make or find 1 to 3 boulders and try and consciously practice good technique in a Gaston. And even if you don't consciously practice good technique, you're still going to be getting stronger.